So how'd it go today?
You know what? I thought we had a good practice today. I asked for a little more sense of urgency. That's kind of the theme of the week. You know, how can we sustain something a little longer? We've had some great halves, including Maryland first half, Michigan second half. You know, we've had some great halves. Just got to sustain it a little longer. Pushing, I think, AJ and Tyson. I think in the preseason, everybody talked about them and Jaden being some of the best guard tandems, both offensively and defensively. I thought defensively we've let it slide a little bit, so that's been a point of emphasis both in film sessions and that. And I thought they responded very well, both of them.
Tyson seemed to be at times he looks like he's grimacing or getting worn down.
He's got a little pulled groin, and that's why he came out a little bit more, but we got to get that straightened out. That is a little bit of an issue for him, but it's not anything that's holding him out. But yeah, he is grimacing a little bit. So tell him to tough it up.
I know you're not going to do any load management, but you kind of keep a close eye on him, make sure you're not wearing him down the stretch here.
You're right. I'm not doing any load management at all. If I do anything, it'll be a little bit in practice and that, but not really. I mean, he's in great shape. I mean, it just, the thing is going to bother him. It's going to bother him. It might bother him all year, but if he tells me it's too sore, the trainer does, then we'll take him out of practice. He just ticked off that it twings once in a while. That's what he's ticked off.
You start facing these teams you've played before. The advantage of that.
Well, the advantage of when you do it within the first 2 weeks is they know everything, for the most part. But, again, we're running into some things that I just can't figure out how this works. But they've got like 6-7 days between games, and so, they could put in some new stuff. But at the same time, the other part about them is they were shooting the ball like 28% from the three in the last 3-4 games. They're shooting the ball like 39%. So they're shooting the ball a lot better, and that's a big deal. So as we know, they got 3 players that can play anywhere, and the big key is we got to be able to defend a little better, a little more consistent.
What have you just thought about Jackson Fuller and some of the adjustments that he's made? I know you mentioned like mobility is not there yet, but
yeah, every once in a while, like in the last game, I mean, I think he's come a long way. I think when you're out 2 months, 9 weeks, you come back and it's a chore, man. It's different than people think. But I do see him getting better every day, and I think he's been great. His attitude's been great. Once in a while, he just looks a step slower. The same move, it's not ingrained in his head because he didn't do it for 9 weeks. And some of those inside moves when he was so good last year, this year he's thinking it a little bit. Not just going to take a little time, but he is getting better. Booker's getting better. We're making a little progress.
Some of the 2 big looks you've used the last couple of games, is that about opposing personnel and matching that, or is that something you like seeing?
On 2 bigs?
Yeah, the 2 bigs.
Yeah, his book plays better too. Playing him at the foursome is something we're going to do, and if Carson can play there, yeah. Some of it is that, some of it we're not rebounding as well. We're trying to shore that up, but some things help you defensively, hurt you offensively. Some are vice versa. Some hurt you on the board, some help you on the boards. We're just trying to rotate some guys in there, but both Booker and Coop and of course Jackson give us something that other guys don't give us.
To give it a day like you did from Jaden, are you hoping that this February could be a month where you really see another gear from him?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see that from Jaden, yet some of me expects that from Jaden, not 7 threes, but of the threes he took, I don't know if he took one bad one. And so if he takes good shots and our guys gave him good passes, I think then he can make those shots. But it was a treat because he had been struggling to shoot the ball. And he got on fire, and he works on his game, so I don't worry about that. But yeah, we need Jaden to be shooting it, and Tyson hasn't shot it as well lately, So we need Tyson to be shooting. And I think one of the things I've been telling AJ, you can't have everybody looking for their shot. When he takes 14 shots, I think that's too many. I think he's got to make other people better and get them shots that they can shoot when they're in rhythm. And I think that's what he's worked on, and today he did a very good job of that.
10 games made those shots. Did you see that carry over to his defense? Did you see a little bit more?
Yeah, second half he was really good defensively, which is good, but is not good. I mean, guys shouldn't let their offense dictate their defense. As a freshman, maybe, but not as a junior. So, everybody does it a little bit. But I thought on the other side of it, Jaden made his offense help his defense, and that was encouraging.
10 games in, 10 games to go. Just what's sort of your big picture? Did anything surprise you to this point, and what's maybe played out like you thought it would have hoped to?
Well, it surprised me last night's free throw thing. I'm complaining we don't get any free throws, and somebody got 46 or 8 of them. But, the league, I guess Northwestern's been a surprise. I mean, if that's what you mean league-wise, you mean my team? My team? Yeah, I'm disappointed still. I don't think we're where we are, where we should be. But at the same time, I don't think where we are is where we're going to be. And is that optimistic? Is that, I don't know, but I really believe it. I think this team has the ability to still put some things together. We still have some deficiencies. Some other teams have played really well. Wisconsin, Northwestern have played really well. And I think ours is yet to come. And I think we can. So I'm not trying to talk myself into it. I still feel like this team, if we guard, we rebound a little better, we get our running game going, I think we can hurt a lot of people.
I know a lot of it's just one game at a time is how you guys take it, but when you do look at the bigger picture of your upcoming schedule, other than Illinois, I think like 7 of the next 8 are teams in the bottom half of the conference. Do you see this as an opportunity to kind of ramp up?
Well, I knew we had a tougher schedule early, but at the same time, what is the bottom? I don't know what the bottom is anymore. It seems like the bottom's of Penn State. They just beat at Rutgers and beat Wisconsin. Michigan, it's hard to evaluate them because of what they've been through. They were in every game, and then their home roster is different than their road roster. Is that going to change? So I don't know, but I mean, on paper, I think we can win a lot of games. But I think we can win a lot of games no matter who we play if we play it right. And I'm more worried about us than the teams we play. But there's some opportunities out there, let's put it that way.
Just looking back to the last Maryland game, Booker didn't play at all. Cohen, 8 minutes. Jackson, 2. Is this a bad matchup for those guys, or can they maybe give you a different look this time around?
No, the Booker thing, as I've explained it the whole time, and I really mean this to you guys, he's getting better. I mean, he is 10 times better than he was a month ago. If you can't see that, then you guys shouldn't be doing your job. But if you look at practice from a month ago till now, he's 10 times better. Does he still got a ways to go? Yeah. So his was more where he was at 2-3 weeks ago, even. Cohen, we're still trying to get to be the defensive and rebounding guy that he can, so we can keep him. And of course, Kohler is just coming. So could those guys all help us? I believe they can.
With Booker, there was like one play in the last game where
the banked in 3.
Well, no, we've seen that before. I'm talking about like defensively prevents he fouls instead of allowing the and one, or maybe a month ago he gives up the and one. Those are the sort of things you're looking for.
Yeah, just being more physical. I mean, he's just got to be more physical. At the same time, there were a couple of times in that game where his length bothered some people. He does have length, but I mean, he's getting around and going to zone. You can see his skill level when he can pass it and shoot it. And there's so many things he can do if he just continues to play hard enough to keep in it. I mean, that's what it is. But I like the progress he's making. Do I wish it was faster? Of course. Does he wish it was faster? Probably. But I really believe that there's this process, isn't what I thought it would be. But it is what it is, and at least we're making progress. And that's all I care about. Is he getting better? Yes, he is.
Do you see him seeing it, and does that sort of build upon himself?
He's been great. Just all the people outside. And it really is. I mean, you get the calls, you get the tweets and all that crap. Can you imagine what he's going through? But like you said, I told you at the beginning. Was he ready for this when he came here? No. He'd be the first to tell you that. But when everybody else is telling him other things, it's hard. Did we see that? Some. To the depth that he was? No, I didn't see that. And maybe that's my fault. But at the same time, I think Xavier Booker's going to be a hell of a player. It's going to take a little longer than everybody wants it to take, as it is for most guys, most freshmen.
When you look at the Michigan game, the first half, they were hot. Were they just making shots, or were there some assignments that were a little leaky?
You know, it's funny you say that because maybe a little leaky, but they got good players now. And I can't give Reed credit for hitting his first three against us with a second left on a shot clock, you know. But those things create problems for you, you know. And so I thought the point guard, he played awfully well. And he's a pretty good player. So you look at the depth, you know, the guy that didn't play well was their best player. You know, he didn't play as well. And we've had that happen many times to us. So second half, we got our running game going. We got some stops. We didn't get many stops early and changed the game.
Against Maryland, you missed a lot of shots and offensive rebounds weren't there. When you look back at that film, guys not going, or you mentioned Maryland's physical and so forth. But
Maryland's the most physical and the best defensive team, I think, in the league, maybe. You know, maybe. And we felt like we started out the second half, we looked like we were walking in quicksand. If I showed you the first half, 44 points, the second half, it looked like we were walking up and down. We didn't fast break. I don't know why. But the problem was easy to see. We took a couple of bad shots. Ball movement wasn't as good. Some of that was them. A lot of it was us. So we looked at it as there's correctable things. We gave up, I think it was 7 or 8 threes, and like 6 of them were missed assignments here that meant somebody had to help and they kick out. So it wasn't the guy, it was the next guy. And they scored, I think, 10 or 11 points on out-of-bounds plays. We haven't given up that many in the whole year. So those are things that we got to correct.
You had a lot of deflections in the first half of that game. Steals also. If I remember, I mean, I didn't chart them. I'm sure you did, but the deflections went away in the second half also.
Yeah, our whole sense of urgency went away in the second half. You know, and that's bothersome. That's what I jump our senior guards for. You know, they got to do a better job of that. And they made some shots because of some missed assignments. So when you get a team down like that, you got to bury them. We didn't right before the half. Came out second half. First 5 minutes, most important. They won that about 9-2, and that changed the game.
Working on a piece on Trey.